Something big is brewing at Tesla. Check this out. This is based on hardcore data, not just personal experience. And after going through this, I was actually left a bit speechless. He no longer has repeatable disengagements on Tesla self-driving V12.3. All 600 of his persistent disengagement spots are fixed. So he tracked all of this data carefully, and this is the percentage of disengagements at the same location. And this is V11. You can see that it wasn't exactly very good. Now it's, I thought that maybe he didn't put any data in here, but no. He drove 500 miles on V12.3. I think this has to be the most bullish thing I have seen about FSD V12.3, because this is not just one no interventions drive. No, this is hardcore data. All of his persistent disengagements have been resolved. This is not a typo, all of them. And James says, yes, this supports the thesis that Tesla can and will eventually solve FSD by uncovering training on the edge cases. Now that compute is no longer a constraint. This is very bullish for FSD. Everything has changed since V12.3. And this is James. He has been so widely skeptical about FSD. Just a few weeks ago, he said basically, yeah, FSD is it's all dreams. This is a bit crazy. I'm actually personally, yeah, I'm a bit speechless. It's one thing to see one hour drive, no disengagements. We haven't seen that before. But it's another thing to show, look, I had hundreds of persistent disengagements and now I have zero hardcore data. Now my question is, how do you put that data into a spreadsheet to predict Tesla stock price? I think most analysts are not able to do that, not yet. They need to wait for earnings to show up, but by the time the earnings show up, the stock has already risen. It's too late. And here's more bullishness from James, hearing very positive SDV 12.3.2 reviews from people that live in Montreal, in Canada, in Quebec. If it works well in this crazy city with our terrible roads, aggressive drivers, and confusing bilingual signs, French and English, it can work anywhere. Is it really that difficult to drive there? Someone says I go to Montreal 4 to 5 times a year. Quite possibly the worst driving environment in North America. Wow. Anyone who has been in Montreal, is that true? I would imagine New York City would be a bit harder, but I haven't been to Montreal. Tesla stock is going to $240 per share, basically, says James, and he has some credibility. If you remember, in 2022, he sold Tesla stock when it was around $200, not exactly at that point, but roughly there, and then he bought back in after it dropped to $100 per share. So he does have some credibility. He says, here is a short-term bull case for Tesla stock. Everyone and their mom knows Q1 will be a tough delivery print. The stock has been moving higher despite this ever since FSD V12.3 landed. We also had good news about the 4680 ramp, Cybertruck ramp, and Tesla has started advertising more broadly. These things were criteria I cited in a previous post that I said would be required to change the business trajectory in 2024. They have all progressed since that post. Things are heading in the right direction. The market may be looking well past Q1 and even Q2 at this point. I think that if we don't sell off on the delivery numbers, or if we do and the dip is promptly consumed, it probably means the stock will at least retest the big downward channel resistance in the near future around $240 per share. Is Tesla stock really going back to $240 per share really soon? Well, if you look at the stock astrology chart, it would suggest yes. I haven't made any of my life decisions based on astrology though, and I'm not going to start now. If I zoom in, it's certainly not perfect, but there's possibly something to it. Anyway, I only invest based on the long-term assumptions. Fisker just slashed vehicle prices in the US by 39%, so that company is definitely done now. It's a fire sale. In response to that, Tesla has suspended acceptance of all Fisker Ocean trade-ins. Surprisingly, Fisker stock is up today so far, but the market cap is basically zero now. Hedge fund manager Brad Gerstner, who has billions under management, sees ChatGPT moment with Tesla's FSD V12.3, and he's all over the news. He says it feels like a human driving. Someone says, after driving it around, I'm reaching into my pockets for every last penny. I still don't have it, by the way, but regardless of that, I'm buying Tesla stock. I mean, just look at this. No mistakes allowed here.
A little bit to go farther. Oof! Look at that. Oh,
Ooh.
so good. Man.
Every day there's something with FSD that continues to impress me. It is absolutely ridiculous that a car with 5-year-old hardware can upgrade its self-driving brain and pull off a move like this. What in the actual F? Says Prasad. This is a big statement. FSD likely saved me from an accident today. I was so focused on the guy to the right, halfway into the intersection, that I didn't even see the car to my left pulling out. They were in my A-pillar blind spot. This is proof that Tesla can do a 3-point turn. So the driver chose the parking spot. It's a difficult parking spot that he chose for the vehicle because you have to do a 3-point turn basically. It's doing it not very fast because keep in mind this is a 2x speed, but it's doing it very comfortably and fairly smoothly, especially when you play it at 1x speed. It was very smooth. Well done.
Oh, you're gonna be on the line. No, you're not. Oh my goodness. I was gonna be crooked? No. What? Wow.
How?
Wow. I didn't think I'd be able to fix that. That is... I mean, you can see it just from the visual that it's right in the middle of the spot.
I love this.
That's crazy.
I love this.
She said, so far it seems to park much better than me. Omar just did a 90-minute drive in San Francisco. He did have one accelerator pressed due to a pedestrian getting really close and a few missed turns, so no critical disengagements, I assume. Wow, Tesla self-driving V12.3 is able to fix all of Brian's problem spots. He hit all of his usual intersections of death without a disengagement. It just plain works, planning a side-by-side to compare. And it's now officially official that for the first time, Tesla's FSD Beta V12.3.2.1, how many points are there, is now officially rolling out to vehicles on the 2024 software branch in North America. I just checked my car about an hour ago. I did not have it yet. And I see more people saying that auto park is smooth. I haven't seen a single person yet say that auto park is not good. If you have experienced it and it's not good for you, please let me know. I would be very curious to know. FSD demo drives just begun in Canada. So FSD V12 is definitely coming to Canada now any moment. If you missed it a few moments ago, this is actually a new release. I'm not sure how big or major it is, but the staggering pace of updates confirms that Tesla has finally uncorked some serious AI compute power. This allows for rapid progress in the form of fixing lingering issues quickly. Look at Matt Smith. I think we are finally done with the years of false starts on FSD. Now, what's so interesting is that Elon Musk is not really making a bold comment like FSD is going to be solved this year. Why? Is it because he's sandbagging? Or is it because he does not believe that is going to happen? Maybe he just had enough of it by now. Or maybe he's waiting for his compensation package to be confirmed first. And so maybe he's just letting things sort of happen and he's not really trying to hype anything up. This one seriously cracked me up. Elon replied to this one too. Elon Musk demands Tesla staff must now demonstrate self-driving tech to customers. Fortune apparently doesn't know that it's a normal thing for the CEO of a company to tell employees how to do their jobs. This was very selective language. It could have simply said Elon Musk's new policy says Tesla's staff must now demonstrate self-driving tech. After years of waiting, I get that some investors are exhausted, but don't ignore this one. Don't become like legendary investor Gary Black. FSD got the potential to be the most impactful real-world technology since at least the iPhone/smartphone era kicked off. Remember, the early iPhones weren't that useful either since the vast app ecosystem didn't exist and connectivity wasn't great outside high-density areas. At first, actually, one of my friends had an iPhone and I was like, so what can it do? Not that much. My friend admitted that and he just said, oh, well, I use it as a calculator mostly. But quickly it became really good. History taught us that investors and entrepreneurs who can imagine the future disproportionately participate in value creation if they are willing to take what may appear falsely as a leap of faith. And here's some more great news. Troy releases VIN data for the Cybertruck. Cybertruck production is curving up. There is still a long way to go, but it's fun to watch an exponential. Unfortunately, other aspects of Q1 aren't as positive. he must not be talking about FSD, because looking at FSD, it is incredible. Look at this beautiful exponential curve. It's so predictable, so exponential. Troy's 2024 Cybertruck production prediction, I guess, was 31,000, but it appears, based on what Troy says here, that it has changed. Now, I don't know which way it has changed. I haven't checked his Patreon yet, but I assume it's up. And we know that demand is not an issue at all with these Cybertrucks. There's too much demand. And Tesla actually just sent out another wave of Cybertruck email invites. You will see Cybertruck cameras here, so people looking at it. And did you notice how much that guy was smiling? I think that's a pretty common thing that look at her smiling. This is a genuine feeling towards the Cybertruck. I don't think these people know that they are being filmed actually, because it's the Cybertruck camera. All of these clips were captured on Cybertruck Sentry mode. And it appears that Cybertruck tour is coming to Thailand next. A Cybertruck has also been spotted near Santa Catarina, where Mexico's Gigafactory will be built. Someone asked, can someone explain to me why Tesla's expanded partnership with CATL is so important? Sawyer explains CATL's LFP batteries are less expensive compared to Tesla's 2170 packs. This is why the new Model 3 utilizes LFPs. However, this choice also renders these cars ineligible for the US EV tax credit. Tesla's collaboration with CATL in Nevada might mean that these LFP packs could eventually become eligible for the EV tax credit. Here's a more detailed statement from that multi-billion-dollar hedge fund about Tesla. When everybody is negative about companies like this, that's where we start getting excited, particularly when they are run by a founder who is as extraordinary a product leader as Elon Musk. When I took a test drive in it, it was kind of a ChatGPT moment, he said. Tesla totally scrapped their prior deterministic models and moved to an imitation learning model that really, for the first time, unlike Waymo, which is still a deterministic model, feels like a human driving the car. That's the type of thing that other people can't easily copy, he said. Elon Musk has got 5 million robot cars on the road collecting data that is training this imitation model that makes it demonstrably better and almost impossible for all the traditional OEMs to replicate. And it's not even just enough to have vehicles with cameras. You have to have a great team that has been working on this sort of thing, that has experience, that understands what it is doing, and most importantly, a team that has a really good leader like Elon Musk. We actually have some good news from Giga Berlin. A local radio broadcaster and news agency has completed a study on Tesla's water consumption in Giga Berlin. Results show that the factory's water use is less than even that of a nearby asparagus farm. This should help with the protests over there. This should increase Tesla's support. Tesla has been approved to use 1.8 million cubic meters of water, and to compare if that is bad or good, the asparagus farm uses about 1 million cubic meters of water, while Tesla only actually uses 500,000 cubic meters of water per year. And then there was a concern about groundwater pollution. All of Giga Berlin's respective buildings were designed like a bathtub. Leaking liquids will be retained in collection tanks. The site also has 25 measuring points where groundwater tests are carried out in fixed cycles. The results from accredited laboratories were sent to the responsible authorities as well as to the Water Association. So this is really good that all of this is getting out to the local population through a local radio broadcaster. So why don't these protesters go and protest against growing asparagus? It's not like that doesn't happen in Europe, by the way. I think all of these protests are beyond ridiculous. Why do you want to make it harder for people to grow food? Inflation is already so difficult on the people that don't earn that much money. Anyway, it seems like these protests by farmers did have some positive outcomes. Here's Gary Black's Tesla stock update. We believe Tesla's likely Q1 volume miss next week may be nearly fully discounted by Tesla's sharp year-to-date underperformance. We expect Tesla's investment relations compiled consensus due out today or tomorrow. Q1 expectations at 430,000 deliveries. Bloomberg consensus still shows 460,000. Actually, I think that's too high, by the way. In front of next Tuesday's Tesla Q1 print, we believe any Q1 deliveries above last year's Q1 deliveries of 423,000 will be viewed as positive, given the one-time Q1 impact of about 30,000 units due to the Fremont Model 3 refresh changeover. Gary's estimate remains at 425,000. Gary thinks that BYD's $10,000 and $20,000 offerings are affecting Tesla sales in China. We tend to agree with bulls who see FSD V12 and Tesla's 1 month free FSD trials potentially game-changing. That said, we don't expect a material change in near-term FSD take rates, currently 10 to 15% at the current $200 per month subscription rate, or any change in Tesla marketing strategy supervised FSD rather than full autonomy, which would boost FSD acceptance but also increase Tesla's legal risk. Until then, we remain Tesla bulls but are holding our portfolio weight at 3%, given concerns about further 2024 volume and estimate cuts post Q1 deliveries and earnings. Oh, and Bloomberg estimates have just come down a bit more in the last few hours. It is now at 454,000. We are seeing some reductions today. For example, RBC reduced Q1 deliveries from 500,000 to 446,000. Dan Ice had some strong words about Tesla, and he updated his price target. Q1 has been a nightmare quarter for Tesla as China demand remains very soft. The Q1 delivery estimates are 475 to 425,000 as Tesla saw a perfect storm of demand issues hit this quarter, lowering price target to $300. Musk must steer Tesla through this white-knuckle period, remain bullish, but seatbelt is on. It is not a big cut, though. It was at $315 previously. Citi analyst on Wednesday lowered the firm's price target to $196, down from $224, and maintained a neutral rating on the shares. Canaccord Genuity analyst, though, did reiterate his Tesla stock price target of $234 with a buy rating. Now, having a downgrade from the Citi analyst, I think, is a big green flag because look at this performance. Is he worse than Gordon Johnson? Seems like he is. Oh yeah, even Gordon Johnson is doing better. Currently, the average 12-month Tesla stock price target is $205. Now, not everyone has updated their price targets, but many already have. Expect more updates tomorrow and after deliveries, which will be Tuesday. Well, this is good news. China's Shanghai Telecommunications Authority said Tesla's vehicle internet over the air upgrade diagnostic service platform is impressive and leads the industry with the industry's only level 4 rating. With this, Tesla was the only company to receive a level 4 safety protection rating using its automotive software services and hardware security. If an EV is going to be hacked, well, likely it's not going to be Tesla because it has the best security. And with full self-driving coming, that is a very important thing for Tesla to focus on. Who could have possibly seen this coming? Americans love Tesla wall chargers and charging at home. Now do the same study about going to the gas station. If you don't own an EV, you might think that the best part about owning an EV is the instant acceleration, but no. Charging at home is the most satisfying part of owning an EV. Oh wow, well this will be another sort of historic moment for Tesla. Tesla's entire global fleet is expected to cross 6 million vehicles within the next few weeks. That fleet drives on average an estimated 1,700 miles per second and growing. Last week, Elon said Tesla is no longer compete constrained, which means they can train FSD faster. And I agree with Farzad here. Never ceases to amaze me how consistently ahead of the curve Tesla retail investors are versus the broader markets. It always takes way longer for the ideas to come to fruition than anyone would like, but once the momentum starts, it becomes obviously undeniable. Oh wow, watch out for Hyundai because it says it will invest $51 billion over 3 years in South Korea to ramp up electric vehicle production and new mobility business, and separately hire 80,000 new employees, doubling down at a time when other automakers are slowing efforts. A big shout out goes to Hyundai. This is quite a big plan. Seems like Hyundai is going to make the EV transition. What? EV startup Fisker temporarily lost track of millions of dollars in customer payments as it scaled up deliveries, leading to an internal audit that started in December and took months to complete. And by the way, do you know who the CFO is of that company? It's the wife of the CEO. Someone maybe also should check their mattresses just to be safe. Interestingly though, Fisker's stock is going up today 39% higher. We are learning that Ford's $25,000 EV platform will underpin multiple models, but watch out, Ford, once Tesla releases its next generation vehicle, these models are likely to be pinned down to the ground. I mean, just check this out. Cybertruck just started scaling and Ford was ahead with its pickup truck. And Ford is now cutting its workforce at F-150 Lightning plant in Dearborn by 66%, or 1,400 people starting next week. They had a 2-year head start. This is why I think Tesla releasing the next generation vehicle a bit later, I don't think it's going to be a really bad thing for Tesla. I think Tesla will still beat everyone. Doug DeMuro just released his Cybertruck review. Cybertruck is #1, beating out the GMC Hummer EV and the Rivian R1T. He notes that as the cool factor dies down, Rivian R1T might overtake it depending on Cybertruck's cost, features, etc. The Doug score for the Cybertruck was 73. GMC Hummer EV pickup truck was at 72, and so was the Rivian R1T. The cool factor is really helping increase the score. And currently it's only getting a 6 for quality, but I think maybe as Tesla scales up, the Cybertruck quality will improve. Overall, looks pretty good. Omar explains why Ford cut its production of F-150 Lightning. They tore down a Cybertruck and they just gave up. I'm about to start using Ground News. I just looked into it and it looks really interesting. What it does basically, for example, this is a story about Elon Musk. You can see what the left is saying. This is a summary of everything that the left is saying. Here's what the center is saying, and here's what the people that lean right are saying about it. And then, most importantly, perhaps, if you want to save time and if you want to actually get to the truth, you click on bias comparison and you can see the differences between what one side is saying and what the other one is not saying. I think this just seems like such a much better way to go through the news if you like browsing the news. I'm going to start using this service. It's called Ground News. I'm going to put my link down below to sign up. I think in today's world, it's getting harder and harder to get objective news, and I think a service like this can really help with that. Check it out, try it out, and let me know how you like it. And I'm continuing my personal investigation into the Tate brothers. If you do follow Andrew Tate, you will greatly enjoy this video. I also put a few timestamps to make it a bit easier to navigate. Like I said before, I want to cover a few more controversial subjects, and this is the first subject that I chose to cover. So watch this one if you haven't yet. If you are interested in Andrew Tate, like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video.